questions?
I'm glad you know what you're doing.
You got everything on.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Bethany Detrich, and today's session is a review of our Mentor Certification program. I'm so glad you're here with us. Today what we're going to do is we're going to go over these models, and these are the models that you've already gone through in your first two online classes. Obviously the mentor competency model, the mentoring activities. We'll have a little bit of a progress and discussion of how you're doing with your mentees. The T-GROW coaching model, difficult conversations, and then mentoring certification exam and review. I want to get you ready today to take the exam and take all the worry out of the exam that you'll be taking. So let's look at the competency model. And the first question I have for you today is, do you remember where the word mentor came from?
I wrote it down. Does that count?
Greek.
From the Odyssey.
Yes. Yeah, Greek mythology. So it's from Homer's Odyssey. So write that down because that's a hint, wink, wink for the exam. Yes, so Greek mythology. So our competency model is pretty straightforward. As you can see, we obviously communicate with our mentees, right? Communication is really, really important in building relationships. And then modeling that servant leadership model that we talked about. Servant leadership is critical in this, and coaching. And then of course we build trust, and that's just the whole circle of really getting to know someone. And I don't know about you, but it takes, with the 2 years that I've been a mentor, it takes a couple of months to get to this building trust piece. And I just had this week at the business after hours, I just had a great conversation with my mentee. It's one of the best I've ever had. And here we are in March, and we started out last September. So it does take a while to really to get there with our students, but we do eventually get there. So as you know, we have this whole program with Building Better Mentors, and the 2 self-paced modules you've already completed. This is your applications class that you're taking now, and then passing that mentor certification, which we'll talk more about. So what I'd like to hear from you is, how is it going? What is the progress on this mentoring program that you've been in this year? So how many meetings have you had so far, or let's say average meetings, maybe average per month meetings have you had with your mentees?
We usually meet twice a month at least.
Okay.
And we talk via text weekly.
Okay, great.
This is probably my most engaged mentee out of my 5.
It's helpful if they're engaged, right?
Yes.
Very helpful.
She's taking full advantage, and it's good. No,
Good.
It's really good.
That's fantastic. How about you, Sam?
Well, this is my first year doing it, and so I'm still kind of learning, so at the very minimum, we're meeting once a month.
Yes,
We
good.
had one phone conversation just to kind of go over some interview skills.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, just once a month since the beginning of the program.
Yeah. And Nathan, how about you?
So I have a unique situation in which I hired my mentee as my intern last semester in the fall.
I did that twice.
I saw him quite a bit, and now we're kind of going through the discussion of hiring him on in May.
Oh, fantastic.
And or him taking something else, which I'm trying to be unbiased. And so we keep in touch quite frequently. We're kind of,
Yes, you see each other a lot,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
Oh, that would be hard to remain unbiased
Yeah.
on, but you have to as a mentor, right? That's
Right,
kind of
yeah.
part of it, is that servant leadership model. So are they face-to-face meetings, or are you doing phone calls? I heard text, which is great,
Yeah.
but mostly face-to-face
Yeah.
meetings.
When we meet in person.
Mm-hmm.
But she emails and texts me, or I text her at least once a week, sometimes more than that.
Yeah.
Just
Oh.
depends on what's going on.
Fabulous, yeah. I've been meeting last semester I was traveling a lot, and so I did a lot of FaceTime. And the FaceTime worked pretty well with her. So there's all kinds of different ways you can do it. I've heard another mentor who every morning he requests his mentee to get up and send him an email on how she's feeling.
Wow.
Right? So it's kind of all over the map, but there are different ways to do it. And I think that's what's important, because there are as many different ways to mentor as there are people doing it, and the mentees in the program. And we have to be flexible. We have to, that's part of building that trust with our mentees. So have there been any challenges that you faced with your mentees?
Not with this one.
How about in the past?
I would say 2 out of the 5 I've had challenges with.
Yeah.
My first mentee and my third mentee both needed strong encouragement to set priorities and keep commitments. But once we got that established, it was okay.
Yeah.
Definitely had to have our, when you make a commitment to me, I'm sacrificing time with my job or my family or, whatever it is, and the importance of maintaining those commitments. And then with my third mentee, she just couldn't quite figure out what she wanted to do and changed her major a lot of times, which made it hard to guide in a professional manner just because her direction changed significantly.
Right.
But it all worked out really well, and I still keep in touch with her, and she actually came, she's doing training for sales, and she came and did a cold pitch training session to my husband and I at our house.
Oh, fantastic.
And stuff. So she's doing great.
Yeah.
But we definitely had those hurdles working through what she wanted to do and that kind of thing.
Sometimes there just are some of those hurdles at the beginning, and you have to kind of feel them out and say, how can I help you? I am giving my time. How can I help? Any challenges from you, Sam?
I think the biggest challenge is just the schedule. My family, I have a 5-year-old also, or 6-year-old now, and we just had a newborn. So I mean, everybody has their own kind of family situations, and so trying to juggle her academic schedule and my schedule, I think I probably need to take more advantage of the electronic communications. I haven't been doing that.
Yeah.
So, but just, we've been trying to do face-to-face, and that's just been it's been difficult, but we've been doing it. That's the biggest challenge.
Yes, and face-to-face can be tough depending on, logistically, depending on if they have a car or where you live, if you could meet in between. So those are things you really have to work out. I'll just tell you, FaceTime has worked beautifully because you can do that from anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And I find it with my mentee this year, it's important that we do have that face-to-face time, not on the phone. She is actually an exchange student from China, and so that seeing those facial reactions and the body language is really important with her.
That's a good idea.
Just for communication. Yeah. Any other challenges?
My first mentee was not extremely receptive, I think, to the whole mentor program. She very much was on her path and had her, everything was laid out for her, and there wasn't a whole lot of need that she had. And so we started off pretty decent, met for lunch a few times the first semester and all. Second semester though, she had a full-time internship with Southwest Airlines and basically was hardly even doing PLP, and we just texted a little bit, and but very much just kind of, I'm a grown-up now, and just didn't really have a need.
Yeah.
And so it was a little difficult to try to keep some communication and conversation going when there wasn't a party on the other end that was really hearing it.
No, that is tough. When they don't see the need, it's really tough. And this year, mine has kind of been that way. She is brilliant. She's absolutely brilliant. And she doesn't really see the need for the people side. So when I figured that out, I realized what we needed to work on. And so since we kind of went that direction, it's been a lot better relationship. They're different. I had a totally different one last year, and I'm sure you've experienced that too.
Different.
Yeah. So moving on here, I gave you this handout. It's also in the online course if you printed it out. But this coaching model is it's a really good model to follow. If you kind of get lost and you're not sure where to start with your student, the topic, what are we talking about? What is the topic? It focuses you in on on what you really need to talk about versus this big picture of things that could be out there. And then talking about the goal, here's the reality. Where are you now? Where are you going? The options that you have and just the will to do it. You've heard of skill and will. Do they have the skill? A lot of them have the skill. Do they have the will? Maybe not so much. So with that, have you used the T-GROW model at all? Have you found the model to be helpful with your mentees?
I was using it not knowing I was using it.
Yeah,
I guess kind of a thing.
It's pretty natural.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's natural, especially if you do this in your work during the day. Have you found yourself using it at all this year? No, not yet. So you might try it out. Just kind of, not being too mechanical about it, but it's really a great way to carry on a conversation with your mentees. And tell me about some of the goals that you've worked on with your mentees.
Resume, cover letter. She's a senior, so she's graduating, and wanted some guidance on her portfolio. She's an interior design student, so we've been working on that. She actually just applied for her first job this week, so she's doing good.
Great.
And I've seen an improvement in her coursework. She's a good student, but senior year's a lot of more hands-on work. So.
And I've heard interview skills and a few other things like that. Yes, people skills with mine this year.
Yeah.
Okay, stop it real quick and